I think now Dogdom and Peter in that pure 2v2 are going to be feeling great because Poppy, strong as she is, can struggle in the lane, particularly against a bully like Ashe.
And it is Carrion's Poppy, so he could just have a magical Poppy ultimate later. Yeah. And on the opposite side, that Wukong that I really highly prioritize right now, as far as the jungle pool, is going to find the first skirmish.
Cuz kicking things off, Carrion waiting off to the side, TP already used, flash backwards, the concussive blow stacking, Oner 2, manages to lock him down, and that's going to be first blood. They're donating it to BDD.
Finals back in 2021. As
Dom going in, Hunter's volley not quite enough. Now Carry is looking to finish the job himself. Slowly but surely the Poppy whittling him down. Dogdom forced to flash away, but Carry hungry for blood. A little bit more time, the Q flash forward. Dogdom with a bit of a sidestep, extra movement speed, trying to make it through the minions. Dogdom living for an extra moment, avoiding the angle back into the wall. Carry gets the knockback. The Glenn's coming out. 1-for-1 in the bottom lane.
Wrap around. Braum is there. Wukong is there.
Dogdom on the way down. He won't be there in time. However, Unbreakable Peter looking to mark him up. Concussive blows finally hitting. Auto attack reset more than enough. Gumayusi falls at the hands of Cuz.
Perfect timing to punish the attempt to push the wave in, which also earns them this early dragon. And as we talked about in the setup, before you even got into game number 1.
With the Taliyah, with the Poppy as well, Poppy in particular can really turn any game around as long as you find high enough value targets. But we also need to be real. This early game is being completely run right now by KT.
T1 recognize they cannot contest the grubs. Prio on the top side still in favor of Perfect. Mid lane relatively even, slightly in favor. For Dogdom to take this away from Guma and have a good game is crucial for KT's game plan, as the ulti doesn't connect from Doran. That's crushing. Very likely would have been a sure thing on the initial kill, and now Perfect wants to go for the all-in. Carry on the way up, but Perfect is completely overheated. Buying a bit more time to overheat now as he turns back into the wave. Damage coming in, and the rest of the team has arrived. Spinning right on top of Doran. It is a Cyclone. Carry running for his life. Concussed, taken down, KT dominating game 1.
Perfect on his rumble. There is a reason he is so confident on that champion.
It hasn't been started, but they have to be careful at checking for Fog of War. They wait to have 3 members strong. They spot Carrion, and they know that is their time to step up. Oner waiting, Gumayusi on the way in, Arrow connecting. No chance to use the Crescent Guard. It might be too late by the time Oner does it. Realm War behind, and it's BDD right on top of Oner, but Faker is there to cover. Instantly, he's sprinting out to safety as Dogdom starts to rain hell onto Oner, but the Xin is too damn tanky. The objective in the sights of KD. Kuma, not enough time to charge the arrow. Second Drake dropping for KT Rolster. For this Herald, KT are already on it, and they've just been one step ahead of T1 the entire game.
Herald guaranteed, and what is the counterplay for T1 even? With Doran being pushed off of the top side of the map, there's not much for them to get except for a Scuttle Crab. Bottom side mid wave is not even going to get pushed all the way in.
Doran.
That's 4 people.
Concussive blows. The Cyclone immediately comes out as well. Doran can't push a single button. KT merciless on the dive. Doran caught asleep at the wheel. Overconfident T1 trying to fire back for first tower, but it's KT who get it. Still does mean, however, that KT get access first to the objective. Oner, Guma, Faker, Carrion all ready to go. Carrion's ulti, you highlighted it earlier, can be crucial, can deny some of the members of KT access to the pit here, but it's a very slow, drawn-out secure. BDD marking Doran on the flank. Arrow starting to rain. Peter getting chunked out. A flashback from Perfect. T1 chipping away at those resources. Eyes on the equalizer. Redemption now used. Cooldown up just in time. KT is going, but now they want to turn it right back. Instantaneous equalizer. Carrion locked up. Realm War coming in, but denied. Carrion wants to knock Perfect out of the fight, but it might not matter because it's Doran into the back line. Oner stays standing. Cuz take it down. T1 fire back.
No matter the early deficit, T1, they still win the team fight. They still get the dragon, and they're looking for BDD.
On the hunt for BDD, but there's just nowhere for him to go in the blink of an eye. KT's lead disappears.
Approach to the Otacon.
Otacon, for now, just the ward.
Doran is getting the top tower at the moment, so that is going to be guaranteed gold here for T1.
And this is the struggle of playing against T1. Their movement around the map is so confident. KT need to be ready to pull the trigger, and they have. Otacon started. A big risk. Doran resetting back to base, likely to finish the second item before he TPs into the fight if needed. Oner in the area. It might come down to just a 50-50, but Faker also has access to the Weaver's wall critically. No flash for Dogdom. No flash for Cuz. KT luckily able to reset the objective, but I don't think they're going to get a chance to leave quite yet. T1 know they have an advantage in the fight if it comes down to the 5v5. Flash forward. Ulti into the back. Immediately things get picked off, but Peter does his best to heroically disengage. It is not enough to keep Doc Dom standing. Cuz taken out as well. Doran in the 3v1, completely and totally unfazed. Carrier there to stop any further follow-up. Faker taking down Perfect, and BDD is not enough to stop T1.
And it's the Crook Lord that finds his mark. Duckdom goes down, and T1 turn onto Otacon.
Doran, the addition to this T1 roster, annihilated him.
Hello.
Resetting, resistance is shredded by the Otacon. Carry a ward over the wall, spots out Cuz. T1 know it's a 50-50 now. 5 seconds on Doc, but he doesn't have access to a TP to make it to the fight any faster. Perfect TP available. BDD finds the angle into Doran. Carry now backing up. 3K on the objective. Getting lower. Steadfast presence gone. Faker on the backside. Cuz wants to try to make it out of this one, but now they're moving into advantage. Take out Guma. No, Guma living. Guma tries to finish him. Looking for a bit more damage, but T1, they find the double for Carrier. They take the Thornbound Otacon, and Perfect. It is too little. It is too late.
Baker teleports in and he saves the team fight. He gets that shove. They get the Otacon.
The fight.
7K. Cuz gonna have a hard time healing back up that chip damage.
Reset.
Does have access to the Sundered Sky. Objective reset now. Eyes on those support cooldowns as well. Carry his ulti. The Unbreakable for the Braum will be important as T1 already getting mid prio. Doran fishing for the flank once again. Ready to come over the wall with the public execution. Carrier going into the wall, locking up Cuz. Instantaneous knockup! A flawless combo to keep it going. Duckdown finally escapes, but he just finds himself in a 1v1 versus Doran. Hope fading fast for the side of KT as Carrier is still standing. Perfect and BDD running for the hills. T1 grabbing their second Drake, but Owner not done yet. Knocks Peter out as well.
And Cuz just doesn't get to play the game. Carrier, who we haven't talked about in a bit, had a rough start to the lane. I'm thinking now the Poppy pick really works out. He's the one that set up the pick.
Choke point, but KT don't have the vision they need. Finally, the ward dropped as T1 once again take control of mid, but happy to just trade a few cooldowns and back away.
And it was the resilience of KT that got them the win against Gen G. That game looked dire as well. TP comes in from Faker, won't have his ult, Zona goes in.
Catch him out, Unbreakable used to kick off the fight. That's the ulti from Gumayusi. Good response coming in from Perfect, but the damage not really enough. Ulti does not connect from Doran. Knockback from Carrier takes BDD out of the equation. And once again, it's Doran on top of Doctam. Concussive blows by him an additional second. Perfect running. The flick back likely to come through as Faker tries to get the damage down, but now he finds himself in a brief 2v1. Goes Golden. Knocked back into the wall. Carrier there right in time as KT are effortlessly dismantled. Doran dropping Perfect as well.
And they're gonna at least get the shove. I was kind of wondering whether they wanted to play for the end, but not gonna be the case. TP's toward the Baron, and T1 about to close out this game.
Section off the rest of the KT members here. Perfect has to flash, and BDD
betting it all. 5 members strong, but it's a Baron buff empowering T1. As long as they buy time here, they're chipping away at that Red Bull Baron power play. Objective getting lower. Owner waiting over the wall to divide the team coming in from Faker. Denied a bit by Peter, and it's Owner now on the flank looking for Cuz. Not sure if he's found him. Cuz turning right back onto Owner. Owner instantaneously into the back line. The concussive blows there, as is the perfect execution. Carry in the thick of it. Gumayusi and Faker untouched coming over the wall, but it's Faker. Full confidence. It's the flash, but unfortunately the flip back goes wide. Doran turns it right back with a sundering blow. KT pulling away. Man advantage for the side of T1 being ushered out. Carrier wants to deny it, but he will only be able to isolate Perfect. The Baron still backing them up. The Dragon in their sights. T1 once again taking a fight.
And an attempt from KT to maybe get a soul point because T1 took that Baron. Not going to end up working out. That's going to be terrific. Moment that Duckdom's taken out of the fight. Cuz alone can't really do enough AD damage. And guess what? He's been taken out every single time. As being Ash against all these dive threats, T1, even though the very early skirmish didn't go their way, are now marching on KT's base.
Final wave of this Red Bull Baron power play. Brought in the mid lane from Faker. Wall to isolate the tower. They want to break open the space, limit the options for KT. T1 outplaying in the fights, and now that they have a lead, they're not looking to give anything away. 3 minutes on the next Baron, 3 minutes on Soul for T1. Is Faker still fishing for the flick back, for the seismic shove?
One of many defenses that they're going to need to fight their way back into this game.
Perfect going to use the equalizer to clear the way, but it will not stop the tier 2 tower from falling. Does give a bit more time to BDD to get a tower back in response. Securing a bounty.
It's going to be gone if they don't make a play. It's going to be a big realm warp. But you're realm warping possibly straight into your doom, and they're not even going to get the chance.
Cuz taken out of the equation. 6K getting lower. KT start to flounder. They decide it's not worth it. They decide they don't want it. Instead, they're going to turn their sights to the Drake. Spawning in 4 seconds. T1 already have secured the Baron on the back of a keeper's verdict from Keria. Now they might just look to end it here. Flash forward. Perfect execution. Aptly named as Doc Dam takes him down. KT now chasing out as well. BDD trying to well more back into the rest of the team. But Keria once again there to interrupt. Doran unfazed by the magic damage of BDD. It's a double kill coming through. Perfect and Cuz, the last two left standing. But a TP into the base to bring back and seal the deal in game one. T1. What a performance.
And Perfect running for the hills. I don't think his survival is gonna matter as Doran and Keria show a masterclass in this game one. The lane for both, I think, looked a little precarious, but those team fights